They judged you before you even had the chance to reveal who you were. One look at your face, your clothes, your body, and your silence, and they quietly placed you beneath them. They assumed you lacked confidence. They mistook calmness for weakness and simplicity for failure. So they overlooked you, spoke down to you, treat you like someone who would never surprise them. But people become careless when they believe they have already measured another person, because there is something growing beneath the surface that their eyes cannot detect. And when it finally appears, they will realize their judgment was not merely wrong. It was their biggest mistake. Never let another person's eyes become your mirror. The moment someone judges your appearance, you face a dangerous decision. You can continue seeing yourself through your own understanding, or you can begin seeing yourself through their limited eyes. Many people lose themselves at this exact moment. Someone laughs at their clothes, so they begin questioning their worth. Someone criticizes their body, so they stop carrying themselves with confidence. Someone ignores them in a room, so they assume they have nothing valuable to offer. The insult may last 5 seconds, but the victim repeats it internally for 5 years. This is how one careless opinion becomes a prison. Understand this clearly. Another person's judgment is not a complete measurement of you. It is only a reaction produced by that person's experience, insecurity, expectations, and level of awareness. A shallow person notices what is immediately visible. A wise person waits long enough to understand what is hidden. When someone judges you quickly, he does not reveal the truth about you. He reveals the limit of his own perception. Do not give limited perception unlimited authority over your life. Your appearance is one part of your presence. It is not your full identity. Your clothes cannot display your endurance. Your face cannot reveal every sacrifice you have made. Your height cannot measure your courage. Your body cannot immediately show the discipline of your mind. A person may look ordinary and carry an extraordinary level of control. Another person may look powerful and collapse under the smallest pressure. The eyes often make fast decisions. Life exposes whether those decisions were correct. You must develop an internal mirror. This mirror is built from honest self-knowledge. You should know where you are weak without hating yourself. You should know where you are strong without becoming arrogant. You should know what you are building even when no one else can see the progress. Ask yourself, what do I respect about the person I am becoming? Do not ask whether strangers approve of you. Ask whether your behavior deserves your own respect. Did you keep the promise you made to yourself this morning? Did you remain calm when anger tried to control you? Did you complete your work when laziness offered you an excuse? Did you speak with honesty when lying would have been easier? Did you train when nobody was watching? These questions reveal more about you than the opinion of someone who studied your appearance for 3 seconds. Confidence does not come from convincing everyone that you are valuable. Confidence comes from living in a way that gives you evidence of your value. When you repeatedly act with discipline, your mind begins trusting you. When you repeatedly avoid difficulty, your mind begins doubting you. This is why positive thinking alone is not enough. You cannot build deep confidence by repeating beautiful sentences while continuing to betray your own standards. Your self-image must be supported by action. Each completed responsibility becomes a piece of evidence. Each controlled reaction becomes evidence. Each hour of focused work becomes evidence. Each difficult conversation handled with maturity becomes evidence. This evidence creates a self-image that cannot be easily damaged by outside judgment. Then someone can underestimate you, and you do not feel the need to prove yourself immediately. You know who you are because you have watched yourself act under pressure. You know what you can endure because you have endured it. You know what you can build because you have already built quietly. A person with no internal foundation depends on compliments. Praise lifts him. Criticism destroys him. Attention gives him energy. Being ignored empties him. His emotional condition is controlled by the room. Do not live this way. The disciplined person enters a room with his center already established. He does not need strangers to grant him permission to stand with dignity. This does not mean you reject useful feedback. If a trusted person points out that you are careless, unprepared, unhealthy, or disrespectful, listen carefully. Pride should never protect weakness, but there is a difference between useful feedback and empty judgment. Useful feedback gives you something specific to improve. Empty judgment tries to reduce your entire identity to one visible detail. Learn to separate the two. Do not become defensive when truth is offered, and do not become wounded when ignorance speaks. Your task is not to become blind to yourself. Your task is to see yourself more accurately than the crowd sees you. Stand before your internal mirror every day. Do not ask, did people admire me? Ask, did I act like the person I claim I want to become? That question will keep you honest. It will also keep you free. Stop explaining your potential to people who have already decided against you. When people underestimate you, your first impulse may be to explain yourself. You want to tell them about your plans. You want to describe your abilities. You want to reveal everything you have survived. You want to convince them that they have made a mistake. Control this impulse. A seed does not argue with the soil about the tree it will become. It grows. There is a time to speak clearly, but there is also a time to let work speak for you. Too much explanation weakens your position because it shows that another person's approval has become important to you. You begin presenting evidence before you have been asked. You begin describing victories before they have happened. You begin trying to control how everyone sees you. This creates desperation, and desperation can be felt even when it is hidden behind confident words. Real preparation is quieter. When a fighter spends all his energy announcing what he will do, he has less energy available for training. When a builder constantly describes the house, he may begin feeling successful before laying the foundation. Talking can create the emotional reward of accomplishment without the accomplishment itself. Be careful. You do not need to tell everyone that you are becoming disciplined. Wake up and become disciplined. You do not need to announce that you are going to transform your body. Train it. You do not need to explain that you are intelligent, study difficult things, solve meaningful problems, and communicate with clarity. You do not need to demand respect. Develop qualities that make disrespect look foolish. The world is filled with people who advertise strength and avoid discomfort. Become the opposite. Let your words remain smaller than your actions. When people underestimate you, they often give you something valuable, freedom from expectation. They stop watching closely. They do not prepare for your growth. They assume they know your limit. While they are comfortable with their conclusion, you can work without interference. Use this advantage. Do not interrupt their mistakes too early. Imagine two people preparing for the same opportunity. One is praised constantly and begins believing success is guaranteed. The other is ignored and becomes intensely focused. Praise can make the first person comfortable. Doubt can make the second person precise. Being underestimated is painful only when your goal is immediate recognition. When your goal is mastery, being underestimated can become useful. It removes noise. It teaches you to create motivation without applause. It reveals whether you truly want the result or merely want people to admire your intention. There will be moments when you want to say, "You do not understand what I am capable of." Instead, ask yourself, have I trained enough to make my ability undeniable? That question returns your attention to the only place where you have control. You cannot force perception. You can sharpen performance. You cannot make everyone believe in you. You can become more prepared. You cannot control whether they laugh at your beginning. You can control whether you remain at the beginning. Every minute spent arguing with a person committed to misunderstanding you is a minute taken from your development. Protect your time. Some people do not want an explanation. They want a reaction. They judge your appearance because they want you to become insecure. They make a joke because they want to watch you defend yourself. They ignore your contribution because they want you to chase their recognition. Do not give them control of the movement. In martial practice, when an opponent pulls, you do not always resist directly. Sometimes you allow the pull to reveal his balance. The same principle applies here. When someone wants you to become emotional, your calmness exposes his intention. When someone wants you to over-explain, your silence forces him to sit with his own assumption. When someone wants you to compete for approval, your refusal removes his power. Silence, however, must not be confused with fear. Weak silence comes from being unable to speak. Strong silence comes from deciding that speech would serve no purpose. You should be capable of defending yourself clearly when necessary. You should also be wise enough to recognize when a response only feeds foolishness. Choose your words as carefully as a fighter chooses distance. Too close, and you become trapped in unnecessary conflict. Too far, and you may fail to protect your boundaries. The correct distance allows you to remain calm, alert, and effective. When someone crosses a real boundary, respond directly. Say what behavior you will not accept. Do not insult. Do not perform. Do not deliver a long emotional speech. State the boundary and let your actions support it. A person who talks about boundaries but never enforces them teaches others not to take him seriously. If you say you will leave a disrespectful situation, leave. If you say you will no longer participate in a harmful relationship, stop returning whenever loneliness appears. If you say your time matters, stop giving it to people who waste it. Your credibility is formed when your behavior agrees with your words. Do not explain your potential. Demonstrate your standards. Potential is invisible and therefore easy to doubt. Standards are visible through repeated action. People may realize they misjudged you. Some will admit it. Others will pretend they always believed in you. Neither response should become your reward. The reward is becoming someone who no longer needs their opinion to continue. Build a presence that does not depend on beauty, size, or even expensive clothes. Appearance matters, but not in the way insecure people believe. Your appearance communicates before you speak. It can reveal carelessness, self-respect, health, preparation, and awareness. But a powerful presence is not created by perfect features or expensive clothing. It is created by alignment. Alignment means your body, attention, words, and actions are moving in the same direction. When these elements are scattered, people feel weakness even if they cannot explain why. A person may wear an expensive suit while avoiding eye contact, speaking without conviction, and changing his opinion to please everyone. The clothes are polished, but the presence is unstable. Another person may wear simple clothes, yet stand calmly, listen completely, and speak only when he has something worth saying. Nothing about him is desperate. His presence has weight. Presence begins with attention. Most people are not fully present. Their body is in the room, but their mind is searching for approval, replaying the past, or worrying about how they are being perceived. Because their attention is divided, their energy feels uncertain. When you speak with someone, be there. Do not constantly check who else has entered. Do not prepare your next sentence while the other person is still speaking. Do not perform confidence by forcing eye contact without understanding what is being said. Listen. True listening is powerful because it shows that you are not controlled by the need to impress. Your attention is not begging for validation. It is observing. A trained mind observes before it reacts. Your posture also matters. Do not shrink yourself to make insecure people comfortable. Do not expand your body theatrically to pretend you are dominant. Stand naturally upright. Allow your shoulders to remain relaxed. Keep your movements controlled. Move as if you know where you are going. Many people reveal nervousness through unnecessary movement. They touch their face, adjust their clothes repeatedly, look around without purpose, or laugh after every sentence to soften their own words. Do not attack yourself for these habits. Train them out. Begin by slowing down. Speed often hides anxiety. You answer before understanding the question. You walk quickly because you feel watched. You speak rapidly because silence makes you uncomfortable. Slow does not mean lazy. Slow means deliberate. A skilled fighter can move explosively because his ordinary state is relaxed. Tension is not constantly wasting his energy. In conversation, relaxed control creates the same effect. Pause before answering. Let the other person finish. Do not fill every silence. A pause does not make you weak. It shows that you are choosing your response rather than releasing the first thought that appears. Your voice should also come from clarity, not force. You do not need to speak loudly to sound powerful. People who are uncertain often use volume to create authority. Speak clearly enough to be heard. Finish your sentences. Do not allow every statement to rise like a question because you are afraid of disagreement. Avoid turning your voice into a weapon. Power without control becomes insecurity in another form. Respectful firmness is stronger than aggressive performance. Take care of your appearance, but do it as an act of self-respect rather than a request for approval. Wear clean clothes that fit properly. Maintain basic hygiene. Train your body. Sleep enough. Eat in a way that supports your energy. These are not shallow concerns. They affect how you feel, how you move, and how consistently you can perform. But do not make the mistake of believing that appearance alone can create substance. A sharp outfit may attract attention, but character determines what happens after attention arrives. If you build only the surface, you become dependent on maintaining an image. Then every wrinkle, every change in your body, every person who looks better, and every moment of rejection becomes a threat. Build beneath the surface. Develop knowledge that makes you useful. Develop emotional control that makes you reliable. Develop physical health that allows you to face demanding days. Develop communication that gives shape to your thoughts. Develop courage that allows you to act before certainty appears. These qualities create a presence that time cannot easily take away. The person who judges only your appearance may miss all of this. That is his mistake. Your mistake would be neglecting the surface completely and then pretending that presentation does not matter. Balance is required. Do not become obsessed with appearance and do not become careless with it. Treat your body and clothing as the frame, not the painting. The frame should be clean, strong, and appropriate. But the value must exist inside. Every morning, prepare yourself as if your life has meaning. Not because you expect admiration, but because your day deserves your full presence. When you enter a room, do not ask, "How do I make them notice me?" Ask, "How do I become fully useful here?" Can you bring calm into confusion? Can you bring a clear answer to a difficult problem? Can you make someone feel heard? Can you complete a task others avoid? Can you remain steady when pressure rises? Usefulness creates a deeper form of presence than decoration. People may first notice the face, they remember the effect. Become the person whose presence improves the environment. Then those who underestimated you will eventually understand that they were looking at the least important part. Transform disrespect into information, not emotion. When someone disrespects you, the body reacts before the mind becomes clear. Your chest tightens, your breathing changes, your thoughts become faster. You feel the urge to attack, defend, or escape. This reaction is natural. But what is natural is not always useful. Your first feeling is information. It is not a command. Anger tells you that a boundary may have been crossed. Embarrassment tells you that your social position feels threatened. Fear tells you that danger may be present. Listen to the signal, but do not immediately obey the reaction. A person who can control your emotional state can control your next move. If one comment makes you lose discipline, then your discipline belongs to the speaker. Take it back. The next time someone judges your appearance or speaks down to you, do not rush. Breathe once before answering. This single breath creates a small distance between the event and your response. Inside that distance, intelligence returns. Ask yourself 3 questions. First, is this person revealing something useful? Your presentation is careless. Perhaps you arrived unprepared. Perhaps your posture communicates uncertainty. Perhaps your health has declined because you have ignored your habits. An insult can still contain information. A disciplined person is not too proud to extract truth from an unpleasant delivery. Second, is this person attempting to control me emotionally? Some people criticize not to help, but to establish superiority. They want to see whether you can be pushed out of your center. Recognizing the game prevents you from becoming a piece on their board. Third, does this situation require correction, distance, or complete indifference? Not every attack deserves the same response. Correction is necessary when the judgment affects your work, reputation, safety, or boundaries. Distance is necessary when a person repeatedly disrespects you and shows no willingness to change. Indifference is appropriate when the comment has no real consequence and responding would only create more noise. Wisdom is choosing the correct response rather than using the same weapon in every situation. A beginner throws every technique he knows. A skilled fighter uses only what the moment requires. You must train this skill before conflict arrives. If you wait until anger controls your body, clear thinking becomes difficult. Practice during small irritations. When someone interrupts you, notice your reaction. When someone fails to reply, notice the story your mind creates. When someone disagrees, observe whether you feel the need to defeat him. These small moments are training grounds. You are teaching your nervous system that discomfort does not require immediate action. This does not make you passive. It makes you accurate. Many people confuse emotional explosion with strength. They believe that shouting proves confidence. They believe aggression proves courage. They believe intimidation creates respect. It may create fear, but fear is unstable. People cooperate while you are present and resist when you leave. Respect is different. Respect grows when others see that you are capable of force but governed by principle. You do not become dangerous by reacting to everything. You become formidable by choosing carefully what deserves your energy. There is another danger: silent resentment. Some people avoid open conflict but continue replaying the insult privately. They imagine future arguments. They create speeches in their mind. They allow one disrespectful person to occupy hours of attention without paying rent. This is not peace, it is hidden captivity. Release the event after you have taken the lesson and chosen the necessary action. Do not keep drinking poison because another person prepared the cup. You need to improve something. Improve it. You need to confront the person. Confront him calmly. You need to leave. Leave completely. After that, return to your life. Your future does not benefit from endless mental arguments with people who are not present. Use disrespect as information. It can reveal weak boundaries. It can reveal your hunger for approval. It can reveal environments you have outgrown. It can reveal skills you still need to develop. It can reveal that you are becoming visible enough to attract resistance. Every reaction teaches you something about the state of your mind. Suppose someone calls you weak and the words disturb you deeply. Do not focus only on the speaker. Ask why the accusation entered so easily. Do you secretly believe it? Have you been avoiding difficult actions? Are you depending on an image of strength instead of building real capability? This examination may be uncomfortable, but it gives you power. The comment becomes a door into self-knowledge. If the accusation is false, there is no need to carry it. If it is partly true, there is no need to fear it. Truth can be trained. A weakness honestly recognized is already less dangerous than a weakness protected by pride. The strongest person in the room is not the person who cannot be insulted. It is the person who can be insulted. Examine the moment without self-deception, respond with precision, and continue moving forward without carrying emotional poison. Develop capability that cannot be seen at first glance. The greatest answer to being underestimated is not appearance. It is a capability. Capability is what remains when style, reputation, and first impressions disappear. When difficulty enters the room, capability becomes visible. Can you think clearly under pressure? Can you solve a problem without waiting for rescue? Can you communicate when emotions are high? Can you endure discomfort without abandoning your standards? Can you learn faster than the situation changes? Can you remain dependable when everyone else becomes chaotic? These abilities create real power. A person may underestimate you because you are quiet, young, old, thin, heavy, short, inexperienced, or unfamiliar. But when the moment demands competence, the surface loses importance. This is why you should not spend your best years constructing an impressive image while neglecting useful skills. An image can open a door. Capability determines whether you remain inside. Choose skills that strengthen several areas of your life at once. Learn to communicate clearly. A person with good ideas but poor communication often remains invisible. He knows what he means but cannot transfer it into another mind. Practice explaining difficult ideas in simple language. Learn to listen without preparing a defense. Learn to disagree without becoming insulting. Learn to ask questions that reveal the real problem. Communication is not merely speaking. It is moving understanding from one person to another. Develop physical discipline. You do not need to become obsessed with looking powerful. Train because your body affects every action you take. Strength improves confidence because it gives you direct evidence that resistance can be overcome. Endurance teaches patience. Mobility teaches control. Consistent training teaches you to continue even when motivation is absent. The body becomes a school for the mind. Develop financial discipline. People often judge appearance because they are obsessed with visible status. They assume expensive clothing proves success and simple clothing proves failure. Do not become trapped by this foolish measurement. A person may look wealthy while drowning in debt. Another may look ordinary while quietly building freedom. Learn to control spending, increase your value, and think beyond immediate pleasure. Money does not determine human worth, but financial disorder can reduce your choices. Build freedom quietly. Develop emotional capability. Can you experience rejection without destroying yourself? Can you receive criticism without collapsing or attacking? Can you remain alone without returning to people who repeatedly disrespect you? Can you delay gratification when every advertisement tells you to consume now? Emotional capability is invisible until life applies pressure. Then it becomes more valuable than physical appearance. Develop professional capability. Do not only perform the visible part of your work. Understand the system around it. Learn why the process works. Study what others ignore. Become the person who can be trusted with complicated problems. Reliability is a powerful form of reputation because it is built through evidence rather than self-promotion. When you say you will do something, complete it. When you make a mistake, admit it before someone else must expose it. When you lack knowledge, say so. Then learn. Weak people protect the image of competence. Strong people develop actual competence. There is no need to pretend you know what you do not know. Pretending delays learning. Humility accelerates it. Every expert was once a beginner who tolerated the discomfort of not being impressive. Do not run from that stage. When you learn a new skill, you may look clumsy. Others may laugh. Your performance may not match your ambition. Continue. The person laughing may be protecting himself from trying. A beginner who keeps training is more dangerous than a critic who remains comfortable. Create a private training system. Choose one physical skill, one intellectual skill, one communication skill, and one professional skill. Give each a clear weekly practice. Do not depend on random motivation. Measure your consistency. What did you practice? What has improved? Where did you hesitate? What will you adjust? This turns growth into a process rather than a fantasy. The process matters because visible transformation is delayed. For weeks you may feel unchanged. You read, train, save, study, and practice, yet the outside result remains small. This is where most people stop. They believe effort is useless because evidence has not appeared quickly. But deep change often develops silently. A fighter repeats basic movements thousands of times so that one day the correct response appears without hesitation. A speaker practices alone so that one day his words remain clear in front of a difficult audience. A disciplined person saves small amounts so that one day he has choices others lack. The world usually notices the result and ignores the repetition that created it. Let them. You are not training to receive credit for every step. You are training to become capable. One day, a moment will arrive that exposes preparation, a crisis, an opportunity, a confrontation, a responsibility, a decision. Others will search for confidence while you rely on training. They will wonder how you remained calm. They will call it talent, luck, or natural ability. You will know the truth. You built a weapon they could not see. That is why their first judgment meant nothing. They judged the cover. You trained the contents. Do not build your life around revenge. When people underestimate you, revenge can feel like motivation. You imagine becoming successful so they will regret ignoring you. You imagine transforming your body so they will feel ashamed. You imagine becoming respected so those who laughed must finally admit they were wrong. This energy can move you for a while, but it is dangerous fuel. Revenge keeps the people who hurt you at the center of your life. You may leave them physically while continuing to serve them mentally. Every goal becomes a message to them. Every achievement becomes an attempt to create a reaction. Every improvement remains tied to the wound. This is not freedom. It is a more attractive form of dependence. Your life must become larger than the people who misjudged you. Use the pain to begin, but do not allow it to choose your destination. A fire may help you escape a cold place. You do not carry the entire fire inside your house. At first, anger may push you into the gym, the library, the workplace, or the training room. Fine. Begin. But as you grow, replace anger with purpose. Train because your health matters. Study because ignorance limits your choices. Build because creation is better than resentment. Develop confidence because you want to meet life fully, not because you want someone from your past to feel small. The desire for revenge creates several hidden problems. It makes your happiness dependent on whether the other person notices. Suppose you succeed and they do not care. Do you lose the satisfaction of your own achievement? Suppose they never apologize. Will you remain emotionally unfinished? Suppose they become successful too. Will your progress suddenly feel smaller? A goal controlled by comparison can never give lasting peace. Second, revenge may turn you into the kind of person who wounded you. You were judged by appearance, so after improving yourself, you begin judging others by appearance. You were ignored, so when you gain status, you ignore people who remind you of your old self. You were mocked, so you use your new confidence to humiliate those with less power. Then you have not defeated the poison. You have become its next container. Real victory means the wound stops directing your character. You become strong without becoming cruel. You become confident without becoming arrogant. You become successful without needing an audience of defeated enemies. Do not confuse kindness with weakness. You can forgive someone without restoring access. You can release resentment without trusting the person again. You can stop seeking revenge while maintaining a firm boundary. Forgiveness is not pretending nothing happened. It is refusing to let the event continue controlling your inner life. You may never receive the apology you deserve. You may never be fully understood. You may never hear the words, "I was wrong about you." Do not place your peace behind a door that only another person can unlock. Create your own closure through understanding and decision. Understand what happened. Accept what it revealed. Decide what access the person will have from now on. Then move. Do not remain at the scene of the injury, explaining the injury forever. Your future is waiting for energy that you are spending on the past. There is a powerful question you should ask whenever revenge enters your mind. If this person never knew about my success, would I still want this goal? If the answer is yes, the goal belongs to you. If the answer is no, you may still be performing for the person you claim to have left behind. Choose goals that remain meaningful in silence. Would you still train if no photograph were taken? Would you still learn if nobody praised your intelligence? Would you still build a business if the people who doubted you never discovered it? Would you still improve your communication if it did not make you look impressive? Would you still become disciplined if it brought peace rather than applause? These questions reveal whether your transformation is real. A person driven by revenge often becomes impatient because he wants visible results quickly. He wants to display change before change has matured. A person driven by purpose can remain patient. He understands that the work is not a performance. He is not decorating himself to shock his critics. He is rebuilding his life from the foundation. Some of the people who judged you may later approach you differently. They may suddenly show respect. They may pretend the insult never happened. They may want friendship, access, or benefit. Do not respond from ego. You do not need to punish them, and you do not need to welcome them back. Observe their present character. Have they changed, or has your status changed? Do they respect people generally, or only people they now consider useful? Do their actions show maturity, or are their words simply strategic? Let evidence guide you. Do not let old anger make you unfair, and do not let new attention make you foolish. A calm mind can see clearly in both directions. The purpose of transformation is not to become the person your enemies fear. It is to become the person your former limitations can no longer control. That victory belongs completely to you. Let your life correct their judgment without becoming obsessed with their reaction. You must stop thinking about being underestimated. The experience may awaken you. It may force you to examine your habits, strengthen your boundaries, improve your appearance, and build capability. But if you continue organizing your identity around being underestimated, you remain tied to the role of the overlooked person. You begin needing opposition. You begin interpreting every silence as disrespect. You begin imagining that everyone is judging you. You turn ordinary life into a permanent battle. This is another prison. Not every person is against you. Not every missed invitation is an attack. Not every disagreement is an attempt to reduce your value. Not every lack of recognition means people have failed to see your greatness. Sometimes you are simply not the center of the situation. Accepting this is healthy. Confidence does not require believing that everyone is secretly watching you. Confidence allows you to continue even when no one is watching at all. You must graduate from proving yourself. A young mind says, I will show them. A mature mind says, I will build what matters. The first statement still looks backward. The second moves forward. Let your life correct false judgment naturally. You do this by becoming consistent. One impressive moment can be dismissed. Consistency is harder to deny. If you speak confidently once, people may call it performance. If you communicate clearly for years, it becomes character. If you train for 1 month, people may call it a phase. If you remain disciplined through changing seasons, it becomes identity. If you complete one difficult task, people may call it luck. If you repeatedly solve difficult problems, your reputation changes. Time reveals what first impressions hide. Do not demand that time move faster. The desire to be recognized quickly can make you exaggerate, show off, take unnecessary risks, and chase visible symbols instead of real progress. Stay with the process. A tree does not pull on its branches to make them grow. It protects the roots. Your roots are your routines. How do you begin the day? How do you speak to yourself after failure? What do you consume when you are tired? What promises do you keep? What standards remain when nobody will discover whether you followed them? These invisible choices determine your visible future. Protect them. Your environment also matters. Some people repeatedly underestimate you because they benefit from the smaller version of you. Your uncertainty makes them comfortable. Your lack of boundaries gives them access. Your dependence allows them to feel powerful. When you begin changing, they may not celebrate. They may criticize your discipline. They may call you arrogant because you are no longer available at every moment. They may call you different because you stopped participating in habits that were weakening you. Do not confuse their discomfort with evidence that you are wrong. Growth changes relationships. The person who benefited from your confusion may resist your clarity. The person who controlled you through guilt may dislike your boundaries. The person who felt superior to your lack of progress may mock your new ambition. Remain respectful, but continue. You are not required to remain undeveloped so others can avoid examining themselves. Check your ego. Not everyone who questions you is an enemy. Some people may see dangers that excitement has hidden from you. Some may challenge your plan because they care about the outcome. Do not label all disagreement as jealousy. A secure person can listen without surrendering his direction. Take the useful part and leave the rest. You should also choose better company. Stay near people who respect effort, honesty, and growth. You do not need friends who praise everything you do. You need people who can tell you the truth without enjoying your weakness. A strong circle does not constantly protect your feelings. It protects your future. These people will point out when your confidence becomes arrogance. They will notice when your discipline becomes obsession. They will remind you that success without integrity is another form of failure. Choose relationships where respect moves in both directions. Do not demand to be understood while refusing to understand others. Do not complain that people judge your appearance while making the same judgment about them. Practice the depth you wish others had shown you. When meeting someone, look beyond clothes, age, accent, job title, or physical condition. Observe behavior. Does the person listen? Does he keep his word? How does he treat people who cannot benefit him? How does he respond when embarrassed? How does he behave when nobody important is watching? These questions reveal character. Your painful experience can make you more perceptive, or it can make you more bitter. Choose perception. Become someone who recognizes hidden potential because you know what it feels like to be overlooked. Offer respect before status demands it. Speak to the cleaner with the same dignity you offer the executive. Listen to the quiet person. Do not assume confidence belongs only to the loudest voice. Do not confuse current position with permanent capacity. This is how you prevent your success from making you shallow. The people who judged your appearance made a mistake. Do not repeat it. Let the lesson refine your character. There may come a day when the same people who dismissed you begin studying you. They will ask how you became confident. They will notice your discipline. They will treat your words differently. When that day arrives, do not become drunk on recognition. Recognition is unstable. The crowd that admires you today may misunderstand you tomorrow. If you become dependent on admiration, you return to the same weakness in a different form. Remain anchored in principle. Your goal is not to control every opinion. Your goal is to become so aligned with your values that changing opinions no longer change your direction. Some people will respect you, some will dislike you. Some will continue misunderstanding you no matter what you achieve. This is normal. A clear life does not produce universal approval. It produces a smaller need for it. Walk with dignity, train with patience, speak with purpose, dress with self-respect, protect your boundaries, develop useful skills, remain capable of kindness, become dangerous to your excuses, not cruel to other people. Then your life will communicate something more powerful than any argument. They saw the surface and thought they had found your limit. They were wrong. Let them judge quickly. Let them believe your silence is weakness, your simple appearance means small ambition, or your calmness means you cannot defend yourself. You do not need to interrupt every false conclusion. Build a mind that remains steady, a body that obeys discipline, a character that survives pressure, and skills that become visible when life demands them. Do not transform for revenge. Do not succeed merely to create regret in another person. Transform because your unused strength is asking to be developed. The greatest mistake was not that they underestimated you. The greatest mistake would be allowing their judgment to make you underestimate yourself. Stand up, train quietly, live clearly, and let your life reveal what their eyes were too impatient to see.